Hey guys, welcome back. So this message that I have to share is a little bit more serious than the other ones because we are living in more serious times. So if you guys remember, I did a video a couple months ago about God sparing my life in a couple different ways when I was a child. And this is kind of like a part two, or kind of like a piggyback off of that one. So I kind of talked about in one of the instances where I talked about God saving my life was when I was at the amusement park, and during that time I was in 8th grade, and I almost fell off the roller coaster in two different roller coasters that day, either 2 or 3. It was kind of crazy, but thank God I did not, because I obviously wouldn't be here today. But the reason that I'm kind of bringing this up again is because I felt that God was kind of sharing with me that I was kind of wondering why that happened at that specific time in my life, why I was spared. And then it kind of dawned on me that later that year, literally that fall of that year, because that was the spring when that happened, I got saved and gave my life to Christ, right? And I didn't really think about the gravity of that at the time, because I didn't make the parallel at the time. And then I realized that God literally saved me so that I could actually get saved, right? And it just makes me really just view God in such a even more gracious way, because he really showed me mercy that day. Honestly, I should not be here. And that's just one instance of when I almost lost my life, right? And the thing is, God didn't have to save me. He could have let me die that day. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't think I most likely would have gone to heaven, because even at that age, not only did I not know God, did I not give my life to God, but I was doing things that I should not have been doing. I was gossiping, I was bullying, and doing other things that I knew that were wrong, right? And sometimes we think that there's only certain things that will stop people from going into heaven, or there's only certain sins that are wrong, but you can go to hell just for being a gossiper, right? I know people don't want to talk about that, but it's true. And a lot of times people think, well, I'm good and I'm a good person, and God should let me go to heaven. But the thing is, Jesus said that nobody's good except for God, right? And if everybody was good and everybody was fine, then there would be no reason for Jesus to die on the cross. Right? So it's just thinking about those things, and for me, that's what really humbled me when I thought about that year of my life, which was in 2010, so that was 14 years ago. And just the other thing too, that a lot of times we think that because we're of a certain age, we're not held accountable for our actions, but that's not true. I'm not talking about being a baby or being like a really, really young child. Even in your adolescence, you will be held accountable, right? There's so many testimonies of people going to hell, going to heaven, and coming back, right? There's millions, probably millions, or at least hundreds of thousands of testimonies on YouTube. And at some point you have to ask yourself, are all these people lying, or is there some truth to it? I think that's for you to find out and for you to research yourself. But I guess my message for this faith talk is just don't wait until disaster strikes, or even until after you die, to realize that God is real. Don't wait until it's too late. You have your life now. Start seeking now, start asking questions now. You don't even have to believe everything that I'm telling you. You can figure that out yourself. I'm just telling you from my own life experience what I've experienced. All these stories that I've shared are true. I'm not over here making things up. God knows I don't even like being on video. I don't even like hearing the sound of my own voice. So I'm not doing this because I'm having fun or because I have nothing else better to do. And it's just important for you to know God for yourself, right? Because if you don't realize kind of the time that we're living in, if you don't see the world changing very quickly, not just in the US, but in other countries, right? You can very clearly look at the Bible and look at the news, and they would basically be indistinguishable, right? A lot of times people want to discredit what's in the Bible, but everything that is happening in the world, it has been already prophesied in the Bible, and it's happening right now. And so you really have to know God in these times, especially for what's about to come. And honestly, if you don't know God by next year, I really don't know what to say. But I just pray that my prayer for you is that you set aside time to get to know God, because it's going to be crucial for basically surviving what's to come in these days on earth. And the last thing that I just want to say is don't miss out on God because of people falsely representing Jesus or people falsely representing who God is. A lot of times people give up on church or Jesus or the Bible or Christianity or whatever you want to call it because of religious hypocrites, or because of bigots, or because of people using hatred in the name of God and all this stuff. And what I want to say to that is you can't get caught up in what other people are doing and disqualify your own opportunity to have a relationship with your Creator. Because at the end of the day, when you stand before God after you die, it's going to be about what you did with your life and what you did, what you said, what you thought, what you didn't do, how you treated people. If you lived your life according to what God has written about you and what God has expected of you, and that goes for me too. You can't talk to God on Judgment Day about hypocrites and what this person did and what that person did, and because it's going to be about you. Now, with that being said, are those people going to be held accountable for what they did? Of course, but don't allow what people are doing with their life stop you from discovering the truth, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth you jeopardizing your chance to go to heaven because other people aren't going, and because you spent so much time focusing on what they were doing. As I said last time, I don't know why God spared my life that day. Obviously, one was because, maybe he knew I was going to say yes to him later on in the year. But I also have to recognize that not everybody gets that chance, right? Not everybody is that fortunate to be spared. And what makes me emotional is that I could not be here right now, and also on top of that, be in a place that I would really regret and hate to be. So I have to thank God for that, for sparing me, because things could have looked a lot different for me if I just didn't make it that day. So that's all I have to say for now. I hope you guys have